You join us at the Business Design Centre here in London for day 2 of Procurement and Supply Chain Live 2023. I'm Neil Perry and I've been on hosting duties here today, as has my esteemed colleague, Mr. Scott Birch. Scott, what have your highlights been today?
So many fantastic highlights, Neil, to be honest. The day started off really well with a keynote session from Adrian Oyekami from Radisson Hotel Group.
It is absolutely critical to get stakeholders aligned. So, for example, my team can do the best contracts in the world, we may believe, but if the hotels don't actually use them, then they don't really mean much. So why would the hotels maybe not use them? Well, maybe they're not meeting the requirements of the different stakeholders for whatever reason.
And then we had a fantastic panel discussion all about strategic sourcing, and that featured Milind Taylor, Andrew Turner, and Ben Godfrey.
3 years ago, before COVID, if somebody asked me logistics, it's a commodity, right? There are hundreds of suppliers, and somebody who has a $200 million spend, I'm sure I can get another 200 suppliers lined up. But I think we realized during the COVID period that it is not a commodity.
So Neil, what were the highlights on your stage?
Again, there have been plenty. I'll flag up Alex Chencher from Siemens, who had a keynote address, and he introduced the word sustainability to us.
I remember being in China 5 years ago, and Alibaba was already saying same-day delivery. Day to day say 2 hours delivery. This is evolving expectations. This is something where you as an organization have to find a path how you want to join or not join this.
And I'll also flag up Sean Plunkett from Springer Nature. He took us through how he went about transforming their supply chain.
You need to engage with people in the way that they need to be engaged. So when I was in the music industry, the first thing I'd ever go into in a music executive's office was talk about music. Never talk supply chain. There was zero discussion. The supply chain conversation was the very last piece of the conversation. You couldn't help me out if I could just do this, that and that. Yeah, no problem. Do you want to come to the gig tonight? Yeah, brilliant. And that is how you move the dial with these people. You have to have that connection with what is the way they like to translate.
And one other highlight for me, we had Patsy Duncan flying in all the way from the US to tell us about procurement at PepsiCo.
So after we have the target set, we need to have a scorecard and report periodically to know where we are at. Just in the previous conversation, the fireplace, we just said that after doing an assessment that would be setting the targets and knowing where we are, we identify where is our starting point and how far are we from our targets or our finish line.
And that's just some of the highlights from day 2. And don't forget, if you missed anything from day 1 or from day 2, you can watch all of those things on demand.